welcome to the ordinary meeting of Council, Tuesday the 25th of November, held here in the Walpole Community Hall, commencing at 5:30. Nala Karak Nunga Mort Kan Karak Ninja Buja, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands of which we meet. I would like to acknowledge our former Shire President, Mr Lidlow, and former Councillor, Mr Tapley. Thank you all for welcoming us to beautiful Walpole. We have had quite an extensive tour of Walpole today. Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. I don't think there's much of Walpole that we did not see today. We were very impressed by the community gardens. It is an absolute credit to the community, the amount of work that goes into the community gardens. And I must admit, the views from the country club are rather impressive. And thank you, Jen, for doing all the work, Councillor Wilcox, for doing all the work to make us all so welcome in the bus tour today. Thank you. Attendance, apologies, 3.1, apologies.
Yes, Madam President, we have an apology from Councillor Bretton Daniele for tonight.
And approved leave of absence?
Yes, we have an approved leave of absence for Councillor Steve Mylan for this meeting.
Thank you. Item 4 is declarations of interest.
Yes, Madam President, we have 2 declarations of interest. The first is from Councillor Batink, related to item 9.13.1, the award for tender. And the nature of the interest is that one of the contractors, Doyle's, does contract work for Councillor Batink. Second set of interests comes from Councillor Burns for items 9.57 and 9.58. For item 9.57, Councillor Burns has an indirect financial interest as his son is employed by the applicant, and is the same for 9.58, the same interest.
Thank you. So Councillor Burns will not be able to vote on those 2 items, and he will be requested to leave the hall. Public section 5, public question time. 5.1, response to public questions taken on notice. There are nil.
Jason, microphone.
Sorry?
Are you allowed? Sorry to interrupt. Are you allowed to nominate to have a question from the public?
Yep, that's the next bit, is public question time. So 5.2 is public question time. So just for everyone's information, this is the only time that the public is able to address the council, other than a requested deputation. This gives you 3 minutes. And we ask that you state your name and address for the minutes. And if you have any notes, if you could give them to the minutes secretary for recording within our minutes. Are there any questions from the public? Thank you. You just have to press the little button as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Norman Hawkins, live at 463 Bridge Road, North Walpole. And I'd just like to talk about the RV-friendly situation that's going on all throughout the state and Australia. Walpole is genuinely RV-friendly, supported by 4 established camping and caravan locations: Rest Point Caravan Park, Coal Mine Beach Caravan Park, Crystal Springs Camp, and the Valley of the Giants Eco Park. These provide powered, unpowered, bush-style accommodations that cater to caravans, motorhomes and self-contained travellers, while Walpole does not offer free 24, 48-hour RV stopovers. It remains highly accessible and welcoming through its strong, well-managed infrastructure. Walpole can accurately be described as RV-friendly due to these high-quality accommodation options, which collectively provide substantial capacity for RV tourism without requiring a free stay. RV site in town site. Lessons from the Augusta Margaret River Shire, which they are going through at the moment. I'm sure you've heard it on the news and through the other avenues. The Augusta Margaret River Shire has experienced major issues with illegal and unmanned camping, including waste, human hygiene concerns, environmental damage, overcrowding and conflicts with residents. Despite increased fines and anger patrols, the problem persists because free or unmanaged camping attracts large numbers of travellers seeking zero-cost options, overwhelming local facilities. Walpole's past trials demonstrated similar problems with misuse and strong local opposition. The AMR of Margaret River experience shows that once free, unmanaged camping becomes established, it is extremely costly and difficult to control. Walpole can avoid these outcomes by continuing to rely on its well-managed caravan parks and campgrounds, which support tourism without creating environmental or social harm. RV-friendly town is Walpole, established caravan parks and managed campgrounds, proper amenities, waste control and supervision, supports local jobs and businesses, prevents environmental harm and reduces ranger workload. Free camping RV towns, unmanaged overflow at public sites, waste overcrowding, compliance issues, high costs to the community. There are many examples of closing free campsites throughout Australia. We could use the money to upgrade the Pioneer Park.
It's 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds to go.
Oh, sorry.
You're right.
Like Donnybrook, also upgrade the main street that has been promised for years, i.e. putting the Payara underground. Conclusion, Walpole is RV friendly and existing well-managed facilities and should avoid introducing free unmanaged RV camping that has caused significant issues in other regions. Thank you.
Thank you. No doubt it will be in our mind when we are further exploring the RV dilemmas and challenges and opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Wayne Dumbrell, 14 Howe Court, Walpole. I'd just like to bring your attention, we have been talking with Councillor Wilcox about the Bibbulmun Track section of Baroni Ridge. Seriously needed an upgrade, and there seems to be a lot of infighting as to who owns it. Obviously no one wants to own it and there's something to do, but anyway, but also within Baroni Ridge itself, there's no footpaths, and a lot of the rest of the access to the Bibbulmun Track is really in need of maintenance, and a lot of the curbing is quite high. It's really a lot of trip hazards, and it's not really trafficable for gophers, and there are a few out there now. So for people to access town, you've got to drive out the high elderly or whatever and around. So I'd like to see something put in the management plan or something to start doing something about that. And also while I'm here, I'll put another hat on as the commander of the local sea rescue group. We also need some no parking sign zones in the boat ramp parking area now, and also like to see provision made for an overflow car park in the very near future for very busy times of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. We did go and have a look at the path up in Baronia Ridge today. There are a few little hurdles with that it's sort of a joint path between DBCA and the Shire. No one's really sure who owns what or who is responsible for what. By coincidence, I am having lunch with the DG of DBCA tomorrow. So maybe we'll chat about it then. Thank you.
But just within Baroni Ridge itself, so if anyone goes walking, they've got to walk on the road.
Yeah.
So, and in some parts where the drainage is not so good, they actually have to walk pretty much in the middle of the road to get around the paths.
Yep. Thank you. Path and drainage and footpaths. We will. Thank you. Excellent. Any other questions? Statements don't have to just be questions, they can be statements as well. Come forward.
Jennifer Skeel, 6 Short Street in Walpole. I'd just like to complain about the position of Short Street. The road is very, very bad there. What's happened is on the edge of the verges, it's a very short street, there are only 6 houses in there, so I think we have actually been forgotten. You trip over, there's a lot of trip hazards coming out of the driveway of people's houses, the 6 houses that are in there. The road comes up, the gravel is very, very bad, there are potholes. Even today, for instance, I had my rubbish bin to bring in, which I got jammed in the corner of the wheels. It is an older part of town, and there are a lot of old people there, people with wheelchairs and also walkers that come down Short Street, and the road is atrocious. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to turn my microphone on. Probably timely with a captive audience that I highlight the Shire's Anteno app. So you don't need to wait for us to come down or send a million emails to Councillor Wilcox. You can actually report it directly to the Shire on the Anteno app. It's very, very easy to use, and it's something that I use often. You can pinpoint a location, you can say if there's a tree down or a sign down or potholes. It goes directly to like our works department, it gets allocated a number, and then it goes into the list of what needs to be done. So well worth having a bit of a look at if, just for future reference. But we are always happy to talk to you. You don't always need to put it on an app. We are always happy to talk to you. Is there anyone else?
Hi, Andrea Thomas, 14 Nunn Road in Hazelwell. I'm actually just across the bridge, so I'm officially in the Denmark Shire, but...
oh, well, sit down.
Yeah. But obviously Walpole's where everything happens. So I just want to second what Norm had to say. I'd like to have a re-look at what's actually happening at Pioneer Park, because I think that Walpole has been significantly on the decline when it comes to the economy in Walpole, and I think that upgrading the park down there would actually bring or have people stay in town a lot more. So having a look at that. Obviously I know that there's some contention about who owns it at the moment, so
and closer
great
to sorting that out.
Excellent. And I know that there was a management plan put in quite a number of years ago, and I think there's a lot of young people with kids that would like to see things change up in that area so that we've got more kids at the school. So yeah, all right, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, it was another stop on our amazing bus tour of Walpole today. The trailhead work that DBCA have done is amazing down there, and I do agree there will be more people popping in there. So we are getting closer to who is responsible and who owns what down there. Local government, nothing happens fast. DBCA, even slower. Is there anyone else?
John Kilrain, 1311 Graphite Road, Manjimup. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the three proposals for seasonal worker accommodation in Manjimup. I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding in the community. These seasonal workers are returnee workers, so they have been here the last few seasons. We are one of the largest employers of seasonal workers in West Australia. We have them all the way up to Eneabba, and we were 10% of Pemberton's population last year and want to try and integrate them into the community better. To do that, we need to shift them into all types of accommodation, so not just on farm, not just in big groups, but a mix of everything. We don't take jobs from locals because we have to advertise. It's called labour market testing, so we do that prior to any jobs being taken by seasonal workers. The idea is they come for 9 months, they go home for 3, and they return for 9. So it's not like it's a stranger moving into the house. The idea is to try and return them to the same accommodation year on year. So in the last few weeks, there's been a bit of social media. I'd like to remind people they're human. They were pretty upset, some of them, that thought the community didn't want them here. I know there's a bit of vested interest and argy-bargy, but at the end of the day, they're human. We need to treat them like that and do the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie, come on down.
Thank you. I seem to have opposing views to a lot of the other community members here tonight on a few things, sorry. One thing is a recommendation I'd like to make to council, and I feel, this is my personal opinion, that Walpole's community is very fractured at the moment. We have a lot of issues going on here which have become contentious. I've seen community members fighting in the street over stuff that really, I think it's just coming from frustration. And my recommendation would be, I'd like the council to consider having some form of, this is not what I really want to talk about, so I better speed it up. Having a community debate about these topics to bring it out in the open and being completely transparent, because I do hear misinformation about topics which winds people up, which aren't facts. And facts will always overrule people's emotions. And I feel I've been watching debates for quite a while now, and it really does flush out the truth from the bullshit. So please, if the council will consider that. I think we need a mediator, and that's about it. And then, you know, people can bring their points of view to the debate, or each side can have their own team, and we'll just debate it out as, you know, intelligent humans. That's not what I came to talk about, though. I'm sorry, but Norm's got up. And, yeah, I agree with what Norm's saying, but I have a different view on it. What I was hoping that Ben was going to be here tonight. I was at the planning meeting a few weeks ago, and I was going to ask him the question directly because I truly believe in transparency. And Ben, we had a genuine conversation at a dinner a year ago, the council dinner after the meeting, about, I was asking him about how Denmark Council has a rule for their rural land that you are allowed to have 2 houses on anything bigger than 25 acres. And in Manjimup Shire, as you'd be aware, it's any land over 100 acres. Would that be correct, Jason?
Yes. Sorry, folks. Yes, so...
I hope this is not coming out of my
No.
time.
30 seconds,
As it stands, the planning scheme allows for 2 dwellings on a property that's 40 hectares or greater, so about 100 acres.
Yeah, okay. That's how, as I understood it. So my suggestion was to Ben that could the council consider giving us the same rights that the Denmark Council has, and particularly with housing the way it is at the moment. And it is such a positive thing for there's a few things that will happen, and just to divulge, I own 2 farms here. Both are over 100 acres, so I'm not feathering my own nest, but I do sell real estate, and I do know for a fact that if that property can do that, it's going to add value to the person's rural property. It also helps with a person under 100 acres could have, if we're 25 acres or more, could have their family come and stay on the property. Let's face it, kids can't afford to buy a house now. So it gives them the opportunity to have their adults or parents to have their kids build a house, or vice versa. It has the kids who seem to have more money than the parents these days to build a house for their parents as they're getting older. So now Ben was pretty direct with me, and he was genuine, so I'm not having a crack at all. But the question I wanted, what Ben said to me was that basically the state government are not interested. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because the new government policy, or the government policy now, is that they don't want people living in the country anymore. So actually subdividing or more houses just isn't on the agenda. So my question to Ben, like, where did that come from? And what is behind this? That, you know, the state government is now saying, basically, the other bit he said was they want us living in the city or in the satellite cities, because logically, I can see in a way where the state government's coming from. They want us all in our little corrals because we're easier to manage and service. So that's part of how he explained it. But if Australia's got to a point where government is now telling us where we can and can't live, we've got a real problem. We all have. So that is my question. Where did that come from? Where did Ben hear that? what is behind this. And I have looked into it further. I've got a friend in another council who gave me some advice on it. And I know it's not a simple thing to change. We do have to go to the state government, and I'm prepared to go and lobby to do that. But I think it's only fair that if Denmark Council's got it for their ratepayers, we should have it in at least our Walpole district. But I'd rather see the whole of Manjimup get it. Thank you.
Thank you. We will take all of that on notice.
Sorry, I took...
No, that's all right. And come back to you, Ben. Yeah, Ben is an apology today. He's off doing some diplomacy work.
I did want to ask that question at the planning meeting, because if that's correct, all that planning meeting meant nothing.
Well, it was a blueprint. So it was a blueprint. So that was the entire Shire, the direction of all of our. So that's not just. It's not just planning.
No, but its blueprint is something that, going on what Ben said, can't happen.
For one part of the blueprint.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But if we can't expand, or it can't at least grow. Yeah. It's where are we going?
Yeah, we will take it on notice. I know that there are different parts about priority areas, and it's not a simple thing, but we will definitely take it on notice.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Excellent, thank you. Okay, item 6, presentations. Petitions, there are none. Presentations, there are none. Deputations, there is one. Mr. Hawkins from the Country Club, would you like to come up to the lectern? You have 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes for a deputation.
How many jokes do you want?
Oh, I hope they're better than that one.
No. Yes, I'd like to talk about the proposed residence that we are hoping for at the Country Club, which you've seen where it will be today. Our club has proudly served the Walpole community for many years, providing a place for bowls, golf, social gatherings, all other stuff. We take pride in caring for the grounds, clubhouse and facilities that form part of the Shire's leased assets, as you would have seen today. The Caretakers Residence Proposal Club is seeking the Council's support to approve a transportable Caretakers Residence within the existing lease area. The dwelling is mounted on a trailer, but that's not quite right. The dwelling will be on stumps or a cement pad. It is not a permanent building and fully complies with. I think that's that part of my speech is not right. So anyway, our caretaker Philip Box currently attends the club every day of the week, including weekends. He supervises 2 prisoners from the work camp, who assist with grounds maintenance from Monday to Friday, requiring constant daily oversight to ensure safety, compliance and productivity. Philip also manages a range of ongoing issues at the club. He has to remove people attempting to free camp on site, connect to power or use the club showers and facilities without permission, as we leave the toilets, the male and female toilets, open 24 hours a day. They're never shut. We also have experienced vandalism, trespassing, particularly from groups of children, adults from nearby caravan park. They ride their bikes, increasingly e-bikes, across the greens, causing damage and risk to both themselves and the course. On one occasion, a group of around 15 people were playing cricket on one of the greens, so they got kicked off. These situations highlight the genuine need for a constant, reliable on-site presence. Having Philip living within the grounds will greatly improve supervision, security and care of the facilities, whilst ensuring the club maintains a safe and welcoming environment for all users. The club proposes to operate the arrangement under a caretaker's licence approved by the committee, allowing the club to purchase or remove the residence within 30 days, notice if required. This is a low-cost practical solution that provides the Shire with confidence that its leased community asset is being responsibly managed and protected from misuse. Accessibility. While the caretaker proposal is our main focus this evening, I would like to reaffirm the club's ongoing wish to see disabled access toilets facilities established at the club. This would ensure that all members of the community, including those with mobility challenges, can fully participate in our events and social functions. We appreciate Council's continuing consideration of this important community need. In closing, the caretaker's residence proposal is about responsible management, safety and sustainability. It is not a permanent structure. It's simple removal home that supports a person already dedicating his time every day to the upkeep of the club and protection of the Shire's asset. We respectfully ask for your understanding and support to allow this process to proceed, and thank you for your time. One thing I'd like to add is there is a strong possibility that the Walpole Country Club would be in a position to actually purchase it and put it there, and not have Philip buy it and put it there. So that's probably a good chance that will happen as well.
Thank you, Mr Hawkins. Councillors, do you have any questions of Mr Hawkins? All good?
Okay, thank you very much.
But you can't debate it because it's on the agenda. Excellent, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, 6.4 delegate reports, there are nil. 6.5 conference reports, there are nil. Item 7, confirmation of the previous minutes. Councillor Burns.
Sorry, my apologies. So I move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of council held on the 28th of October be confirmed as a true and accurate record.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Wilcox. Councillors, can we put that to the vote, please? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Okay. 8 motions of which previous notice has been given. There is nil. Section 9, officers' reports. For the interest of the gallery, I'll explain how we are about to consider the agenda items for this meeting. All councillors have had the agenda for 1 week, giving us time to thoroughly review each item. This meeting is the only time that councillors are able to formally debate agenda items. I'll read out each item listed in the agenda. Any councillor will be able to identify an agenda item that they wish to debate. These items will be listed on the whiteboard behind me. All items not identified by councillors to be debated will be moved in accordance with the officer's recommendation in one motion as listed in the agenda and moved en bloc for voting purposes. If your item is not listed on the board and is moved en bloc, it will be passed as per the officer's recommendation. Following this, council will consider the remaining items in agenda order. Office of the CEO, 9.1.1, review of council policy 1.1.1, council meetings, agenda briefing sessions and concept forums and proposed council meeting schedule for 2026. Corporate and governance, 9.2.1, propose lease or consent to Walpole Country Club caretaker's dwelling. Nope. Excellent. Finance and administration, 9.3.1, clarification of decision, notice of motion 8.4, proposal to introduce cap on minimum rate Donley River Hut precinct is taken out. 9.3.2, Pemberton EV charging station is taken out. 9.3.3, finalisation of Peppercorn lease review. 9.3.4, Shire financial payments for September 25. 9.3.5, monthly statement of financial activity September 2025. 9.3.2, proposed budget review adjustments 30th of September 25 is absolute and taken out. Statutory planning. 9.5.1, proposed adoption of draft local planning policy 6.1.25 exemptions has an amendment and is taken out. 9.5.2, progress report on advocacy actions for remediation of the Pemberton Mill site is absolute and taken out. 9.5.3, extension of time for industry extractive, gravel and sand at lot 200 Yarry Road, Balbarrup. 9.5.4, retrospective approval for an extension to the shop, in brackets sauna, at lot 651 in brackets 174 Browns Road, Pemberton. Gosh, that was a lot quieter than the previous sauna one, wasn't it? 9.5.5, proposed change of use of dwelling to a holiday accommodation at lot 40 in brackets 16 Latham Avenue, Walpole. 9.5.6, proposed change of use from dwelling single to residential building at lot 100 in brackets 59 Bath Street, Manjimup. 9.5.7, proposed change of use from dwelling to single to residential building at lot 118 in brackets 39 Bath Street, Manjimup has a financial interest and is taken out. 9.5.8, proposed use of a dwelling single to a residential building at lot 33 in brackets 52 Brain Street, Manjimup is financial and taken out. 9.5.9, request to initiate and adopt for the purposes of advertising proposed amendment 35 to local planning scheme number 4 for lot 15 in brackets 269 Dingup Road, Dingup. 9.5.10, delegated planning decisions, October 2025. Community and Recreation Services. 9.1.1, consideration of fee waiver requests from Manjimup Cherry Harmony Festival 2025 is actually an absolute, so that will be taken out. 9.9.2, proposed budget amendment, Community Trail Planning Grant, Manjimup Trail Bike Hub is absolute and taken out. 9.9.3, request for council endorsement of cooperation housing funding submission to implement the Manjimup Key Worker Housing Project at lot 9000 Mount Street, Manjimup. Can we have that taken out, please? Technical Services. 9.12.1, advice of motion presented to the West Australian Local Government Association Southwest Zone meeting 21st of November 25 regarding traffic management. Can we have that taken out, please? 9.13.1, advice on award of tender 01/26 panel for gravel supply and tender 02/26 panel for cartage. 9.13.2, proposed award of tender 04/26 wet hire final trim grading is absolute and taken out. Parks and Gardens. 9.14.1, proposed review of policy 10.2.2, standard of maintenance for park and assets within the Shire, and policy 10.2.3, street tree planting and replacement. Advisory committees. 9.16.1, endorsement of representatives on climate change action plan implementation reference group needs to be taken out. And 9.16.2, Shire of Manjimup nomination for the Southwest Development Commission Board needs to be taken out. Thank you. Would someone like to adopt the others, please? Somebody, anybody? Councillor Darren.
I'm doing it in Walpole because my chair squeaks every time I say that. I move that Council adopt the recommendations contained in the officers and committee reports on pages 1 to 135 of the agenda, with the exception of those on the board.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Burns? All those, can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. Okay. First one, page 18. 9.3.1, clarification of decision, notice of motion. 8.4, proposal to introduce cap on minimum rate, Donnelly River Hut Precinct.
As per officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Darren. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Darren, did you want to speak to the motion? Are there any other speakers? Can we put that to vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Anyone against? Carried 7-0. Thank you. Thank you. 22. 9.3.2, Pemberton EV charging station. Councillor Darren.
I'd like to move an alternative recommendation that Council direct the Chief Executive Officer to investigate through an expression of interest process a suitable vendor to take over the Pemberton electric vehicle charging service. 2, if a suitable vendor is identified at no cost to the Shire, appoint and complete the necessary legal documents to secure a long-term arrangement beneficial to the Shire of Manjimup. And 3, if the expression of interest process is unsuccessful, to decommission the charger and do nothing further. Council. This has obviously been a contentious issue across the state with the RAC pulling out of EV charging stations across the board. It is a complicated issue, and there are obviously a lot of people working in this space. I know we've been approached by one that was recorded in the officer's report, and there are others out there with different models. So this allows, as the first 2 points, as per the officer's recommendation, allows the Chief Executive Officer to investigate those options. And fantastic, if we can find somebody out there that wants to take on the EV charging station that doesn't cost anything to the Shire, we can move forward with that. The alternative changed point 3 to say that if it wasn't successful, rather than bringing it back to council for further investigation, simply to decommission the charger and do nothing further. And realistically, if somebody comes to the Shire and wants to investigate further, we could go back through the process. But the idea is that we, in my opinion, we don't offer service stations as a Shire council. I don't think we should be in the business of EV charging stations that are going to cost our ratepayers. So great if we can find somebody to take it on. Fantastic, all for it. There's certainly a growing market there and we should do it. But if there's not somebody out there, I think we should just leave this one be and wait until there is somebody that sees it as a commercial viability and not get the Shire involved in taking these things on, because you never know where it might get to if we take on one. We have a lot of towns.
Yeah, I'd just like to, Madam President, thank you. I'd like to just back up Councillor Darren's arguments. The reality is we don't provide petrol stations for any of our other visiting public or our constituents. The reality is we've been losing money on this charging station since it was put in and handed over to us. We've also negotiated a lease for a charging station in Manjimup, which is a reasonable amount of money per year. And this one has been located in our car park for free for a long time. And I also back up the fact that if we were to provide a charging station in Pemberton, it wouldn't stop there. It would have to be Northcliffe, Walpole, or it could be extra ones in those towns, Quinnanup, Windy Harbour, and all of the other towns that don't have charging stations. The reality is we also have a lot of things that we don't charge a lot for, and we need to start culling budget and not increasing costs. And this would increase our long-term costs, both operationally and through investment up front. So I urge you to support the motion.
Any speakers against the alternative? Any other speakers? Fabulous. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. 35. 9.3.6, proposed budget review adjustments, 30th of September 2025. Councillor Darren.
As per officer's recommendation.
Excellent. Seconder. Councillor De Campo. Councillor Darren, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion? Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. Are there any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. 38. 9.5.1, proposed adoption of draft local planning policy. 6.1.25, exemptions. Councillor De Campo.
As per officer's recommendation, but with an amendment to point 1, to replace appendix 9.5.1a in brackets with attachment 9.5.12 in brackets.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Burns.
Thank you, Madam President. It's purely a clerical error. I wouldn't pull these things out for any other reason to bore the gallery with. So thank you.
Councillor Burns, did you want to speak to it? Excellent. Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. Page 43. 9.5.2, progress report on advocacy actions for remediation of the Pemberton Mill site. Mover? I'm just waving my arms around.
Well, I'll move as per officer's recommendation, but it might not seem like it when I...
Is there a seconder? Councillor Tempera, thank you. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam President. I do. As we all are, very concerned about the Pemberton Mill site and its future, and that is directly attached to its past, in fact. There is considerable amount of contamination on there. We don't know what level that contamination is at, and there are a number of reports that have been commissioned to assess that currently, I think through DPLH. I personally, I'm going to support this motion. I personally don't want to put $40,000 of council's money into this project right now because, and it might seem odd that I'm moving the motion and supporting the motion, but speaking essentially against it. And it is because we don't know what those reports will do once commissioned and once finalised. It may be as simple as a cap and put some industrial land on there, or it may be a massive remediation project. There has been some remediation on the southern side of the highway, and that site is a very odd site. I do agree we do need some planning over it long term. However, I actually think the 40,000 is a little bit too soon to put in the pipeline for something we don't know that we can do in that certain spot. We may actually go out and plan for something and can't do that particular plan because of contamination that might be in that particular spot. So when you talk about a cover and build, you might be as simple as hot mixing it. And I know they did hot mix the front of the mill site many years ago because that is contaminated and that took the runoff off the contaminated site. So I think we're just jumping the gun a little bit with having some money and some planning in relation to not knowing exactly what the contamination is. Having said all of that though, the community expects us to do something. And it is unfortunate that sometimes when a community expects you to do something, that you may do something you regret down the track. But I do think we need to support the community in their endeavours and their ambition to do something on that site. But I just caution that a fact that we could be throwing $40,000 into the wind because we might plan something on top of something that we can't actually put there. And it's the same argument I had last Tuesday, but I just wanted to put it on the record. So, other than that, I do encourage you to endorse the offer's recommendation.
Thank you. Sorry. Councillor Tempera, did you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam President. Just to reiterate... do I have to?
Yep.
You're not the deputy here, mate.
Just to reiterate what Councillor De Campo said, just because it is such the unknown, and I definitely think slow and measured is the way to go. I know people would like to see things happen quicker, but like Councillor De Campo said, if we cave to the pressures of time, what will we be paying for, not only economically but environmentally in the next 10 years? Thank you.
Are there any other speakers? Okay, fabulous. I would like to speak to the officer's recommendation. I was on site as part of this meeting with the CEO. This is not about detailed planning down to the last square metre. This is about having some skin in the game to ensure that our community gets a voice in future planning on this site. This means that we can, as a Shire, we can direct DPLH to the extent of the investigations. I take Councillor Tempera's point that we don't need to move on this too fast, but good grief, at the moment we're going backwards. We're not moving fast at all. This $40,000 will give us some scope to say that whether we want this to be a light industrial, whether it's to be parkland, whether it's to be a heritage mill, a museum, this plan will give DPLH some scope of the depth and the breadth of the investigation into the contamination. We know there is contamination on this site. We also know there's a heritage chimney on this site. So to be able to have that skin in the game at this very early stages of planning, I feel is an essential part in this process. It is noted that Parkside did not want to contribute to this at all, so it does mean that that relationship with DPLH and the future of that site, it puts us in good standing. Thank you. I urge you to support the officer's recommendation. Councillor De Campo, did you want to close?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. And I do agree with all of your sentiment. The reality is that we do need some skin in the game. I do agree. However, and we're not throwing caution to the wind. There are, and you've said planning and time, and so this opened the door, but there are a number of other sites in this state, high-profile government sites, East Perth Power Station, Kwinana Power Station, which has just come down, North Fremantle Power Station or Coogee Power Station is still standing there after decades and decades. And so, yes, we need some skin in the game, and I agree that we should do something, but we should just ensure we have our foot in the door and be cautious about what we plan and the expectation that might come out of that for the community. Other than that, I commend the motion to you.
Thank you. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. Where are we up to? 75. 9.5.7, proposed change of use from a dwelling single to a residential building at lot 118 in brackets 39 Bath Street, Manjimup. Councillor Burns, this is your financial?
No, it's the next two.
Oh, it is. No, it's this one. 957? Yep, 957. No, we're on 957 because we're not doing 956. You're right. Thank you. (957) proposed change of use. Councillor De Campo.
As per officer recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Darren. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you. I understand this is only out for a financial?
Yes,
for
thank
impartiality.
you.
Financial. Yep. However, I think that it's given the opportunity, I'd like to speak, as I wasn't at the last meeting when the last very contentious one went through council, endorsing some of the comments from both sides of the fence, in fact, in relation to our working community. And they really are a part of our community, and we need to make sure they are human beings. That's true. There's been a lot of keyboard worrying going on today by the Warriors in relation to potentially a mass exodus from a facility in our Shire. Potentially that facility should potentially look at its own, look in the mirror and see what the quality of it that it's offering its workers, and then maybe that could be the issue. There is a fine balancing act though, and that's why we have a 12-month approval in relation to developing a policy and some guidance around worker accommodation. And it would be fair to say that these homes, and it would be easy to argue, in fact, that these homes are taking families out of our community. The reality is though, our community economically doesn't survive without somebody to pick the fruit or cut the cauliflowers or milk the cows. And so that fine balancing act lands with us, and we have to be big enough to make those decisions. We have to be big enough to defend those decisions, and we also have to be smart enough to develop policy and guidelines around it, which we are doing. So I think the way forward that we have landed on by my esteemed councillor to the left at the last meeting is a good pathway forward. It will not please everyone. There is little doubt about that. The housing crisis is very real. We know that. In fact, I think people are at their wits' end in that area. And we've got a lot of work to do there. We have got a lot of work to do. We know that in other areas of the business. But we will do that work, and we will make sure that it is easier to build houses. We'll make sure that it is easier to accommodate workers on farms, and we'll make sure that there is a balance in the future. Because a good community is a balanced community that has offerings for employment and, of course, for families. So I urge you to, I urge you to support it and commend the motion to you.
Councillor Darren, did you want to speak to the motion? No. Are there any other speakers? Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? And against? Carried 5-1. Got it. 9.5.8, proposed change of use from a dwelling single to a residential building at lot 33 in brackets 52 Green Street Management.
As per officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Darren. Councillor Campo, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Darren. Excellent. Can I put that to the vote? Are there any speakers? Anyone want to have a... No? Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? And against? Carried 5-1. Thank you. Thank you. Page 100. Thank you. Page 100, Councillor Burns, 9.9.1, consideration of a fee waiver request from the Manjimup Cherry Harmony Festival 2025. Someone like to move it? Councillor Tempera.
Just because my name starts with W doesn't mean it's Wendy. Councillor Tempera. As per officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Tempera. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam President. Look, I just want to say this is a great community event. It's a very small amount of money. In fact, it's not money we're losing, it's money we would have gained through an application. I urge anyone else who has an event, it has to be of a certain size, that if you think you're being hard done by in relation to your application fees and everything, come and see us. We are very amenable to events and wanting these things to go ahead in the community, so I urge you to support this motion and commend it to you.
Thank you. Councillor Tempera, sorry. Are there any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0, thank you. 106. 9.9.2, proposed budget amendment, community trail planning grant, Manjimup Trail Bike Hub. Councillor Darren.
As per the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor De Campo. Councillor Darren, did you want to speak to the motion? No. Councillor De Campo. Are there any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Thank you. Carried 7-0. 9.9.3. Request for council endorsement of cooperative housing funding submission to implement the Manjimup Key Worker Housing Project at lot 9000 Mount Street, Manjimup. I will move that. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor De Campo. This is quite a significant development within the Shire of Manjimup. This proposal is 36 key worker dwellings on the old primary school site. This is an external housing provider who is really just asking for our support for a grant funding. To be able to have an external housing provider come in and potentially develop 36 houses for key workers, which will then release potentially 36 rentals onto our rental market in Manjimup. As we have just discussed, we are in a housing crisis. We do not have enough rentals and we cannot attract and retain professional working people, whether it be in our hospitals, police, schools, the Shire. So this housing proposal is an essential, and it's a fantastic proposal going forwards. If it comes into fruition, we're not going to get too excited because they still need to get the grant funding, but it has the potential to certainly free up a lot of houses. It is an exciting proposal. The House 3D is concrete printing, so it's an innovative housing provider as well. It has the potential to get us some housing very quickly, which is an essential part of this as well. Thank you. So I urge you to support the officer's recommendation. Who seconded it? Councillor De Campo.
Aren't you lucky?
So lucky.
Thank you, Madam President. I also agree, and with your comments, I would like to have moved to point 4, but I will not do that because it's too messy for a start. This project, when it was presented to us, was a different, very, very different project. They have come around to, I suppose, our way of thinking, essentially, through some very good guidance from the President, I think. But there is, and the Director of Community Services, of course. And in Northcliffe, I was pretty scathing of a contribution to this by the council, because this company, it is one of the first in the state that they're actually embarking on, and they have no money. But I would have added a point 4, in fact, that we apply to the government for the $5 million for infrastructure headworks on their behalf, because it would have given it more sway in relation to that. And there's also an innovation fund of $50 million, up to $5 million each applicant for the concrete printing, which we could assist with as well. However, I do think this covers it, and we'll let them, because they have to now put their meat to the grinder, essentially, and come up with a good application and be successful. And if they're not successful in that, then we know that this is, essentially a pie-in-the-sky approach to building. One thing we do need, though, is, as per the last argument, is that we do need houses, and we need critical work houses. And at some point, as a local government, we are going to have to put our meat to the grinder in relation to whether we support it financially and build it, or whether we wait for the next one if this falls over. I do hope, though, that this does. The project prototype looks good. It has changed from a commune to a very good 36 townhouse-style apartment, professional worker housing or critical worker housing complex. So I commend the motion to you.
Could I move an amendment? It's not that one. Could I move that we amend point 3 to read, provides formal written support for cooperation housing's applications to the Regional Housing Support Fund, Key Starts Build to Red Kickstart Fund, and other future grant opportunities of a similar nature to assist in progressing the Mount Street Key Worker Housing Project to delivery.
Does anyone want an explanation of that? That just means that we're going to support them with any other future grant funding. It doesn't have to come back to us. Yep, excellent. Okay, are there any other speakers? Excellent. Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Is carried 7-0. Did you get that? Okay, 9.12.1. Advice of motion presented to the West Australian Local Government Association South West Zone meeting on the 21st of November 2025 regarding traffic management. I'll move that, seeing I was the one that took it to the zone. Is there a seconder? Councillor Batink. Let's get you on the books then tonight. This was a motion that I took to the South West Zone last week. It was very well received by the zone. We are not the only local government that are having dramas with our traffic management. This extends right through to events, the costing that needs to go onto events, mowing our verges, doing any sort of maintenance work along the roads, and the extensive costing that our traffic management is now costing throughout the entire Shire, community groups, events, anyone that has anything to do with a road, really. This is not, the motion was not only about the costings of traffic management, it was also regarding a education program so people understood why traffic management was there. And people want to go home at the end of their day after working on a road. So it is very much hand in hand about safety, costing, and supporting our communities to make sure that we can continue to do the events in our regional towns, which brings such a huge economic benefit within our towns. We need to work very hard on this to ensure that our events within our towns are maintained. Very pleased that this is also the #1 agenda item on the South West Development Commission's events and tourism. It is their #1 action as well. So we do have lots of different avenues of government trying to work out how we can sort this out. I ask you to support this motion, seeing I've already done it. Councillor Darren, did you want to speak to... Oh, Councillor Batink, sorry. No, all good. Are there any other speakers? Fabulous. Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour of supporting something I've already done? Thank you very much. 7-0, yep. Okay. 125. 9.13.2, proposed award of tender 04/26 wet hire final trim grading. No, only a impartiality. Mover. Councillor Darren, thank you.
Officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Wilcox. Thank you. Councillor Darren, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Wilcox, did you want to speak to the motion? Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? All those in favour? Thank you. 7-0. 131. We're nearly there. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Darren.
I move that we move... Sorry, my chair's about to tip.
Don't do that.
I move that we come out of standing orders.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Burns. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour of coming out of standing orders? Thank you. 7-0. Just for an explanation to the gallery, the next two items we need to elect a couple of members to go onto committees. By coming out of standing orders, we can freely discuss it and we're not constrained by the standing orders of the meeting. So let's have a chat about 9.16.1, endorsement of representatives on the Climate Change Action Plan Implementation Reference Group. This group is one of our Warren Blackwood Alliance of Council groups, which is our 5 local governments. We all come together and discuss how we can collectively battle climate change without a better explanation. Would anyone like to nominate for this committee? Councillor Tempera. Fabulous. Is there anyone else? Great. I'll be the second one. Thanks, folks. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so, gosh, I'm on another committee. Let's have a chat now about 9.16.2. This is the Manjimup nomination, Manjimup Councillor nomination for the Southwest Development Commission Board. We have 2 in writing. Is there anyone that would like to nominate off the floor? Nope. Fabulous. Okay. The process here is we are going to do this in alphabetical order. Each nominee, which is Councillor Burns and Councillor Darren, will get 5 minutes to put their case forward. The councillor who is not speaking will be asked to go out to the silent chamber. Excellent. So, Councillor Darren, if you'd like to go out. The cone of silence. Councillor Darren, if you would like to go out. Councillor Burns, we're not in standing orders, so you don't have to stand unless you please try to want to. Whenever you're ready. Okay. Maybe just put your microphone on though. Thank you.
I will keep this fairly short and succinct. As much as I'm still relatively new here within the Shire of Manjimup Council, I do have previous local government experience with a short time with the City of Rockingham. And in that position, I did work quite closely with the Peel Development Commission. As much as the City of Rockingham is not technically part of the Peel region, they're closely connected. Outside of my duties here on the Shire Council, I run a small business, and in that capacity, I work with predominantly small to medium-sized businesses across the whole of the state, but predominantly across the southwest with clients in the Manjimup Shire, all the way across to up to Bunbury, Busselton, Margaret River, etc. I do believe I have the skills to contribute in a valid way to the Southwest Development Commission, And importantly, I guess, utilising my still relatively newness in the Manjimup Shire, I'm not on 100 other committees already, so do actually have the time to dedicate to this additional role and represent the Shire of Manjimup, should we be successful, because the person we nominate isn't necessarily guaranteed a position on the board. But if I was to garner your support and I was to be successful, I would be very proud to represent the Shire of Manjimup on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. I will ask you to go to the cone of silence, and if you can ask Councillor Darren to come through.
Why don't you make her own stuff up?
Thank you.
Yes, I've nominated for the Southwest Development Commission board. The Southwest Development Commission partners with communities, government and industry across the Southwest to deliver outcomes for our regional communities. In reality, I'm not going to lie to you, Councillor Burns and I probably both have the skill sets to deliver, as we all would. We're not sitting here because we don't have the leadership skills and the knowledge and the experience to be able to do that. So instead, what I wanted to talk about was that we're not actually voting today about who will be on the Southwest Development Commission board. We'll be voting for who we think has the best chance to be an inland representative on the Southwest Development Commission board. At the moment, the two board members from local governments are the mayor of, or the deputy mayor of the city of Bunbury and the Shire president of Augusta Margaret River. They are big shoes to fill. And in reality, there could be up to 12 councillors that nominate in the next few weeks for this board position. So whoever we select here tonight goes into competition with up to 11 other councillors. I believe that I have the experience in the region, the experience on council and across a range of different community group boards, industry, my background in consulting work across a range of different industries, and my experience working with a range of different government groups, both on local government but also in state government, where my previous career was as well. And I think that puts me in a great position to be able to defend us if we want an inland representative, and I think we do. We all do want an inland representative sitting on the Southwest Development Commission board. We want them to look inland a little bit more. They have a lot of funding, they have a lot of opportunity, and we want them looking inland and not just on the coastal regions all of the time, Bunbury, Busselton, Margaret River, Augusta. And in reality, for all of us, we want that that inland representative to be from the Shire of Manjimup. That would be the biggest benefit to us. So I think that while we both have the skills to sit on the board, I do think that I present the best opportunity to compete against 11 other councillors across the Southwest to ensure that we have the best foot forward of having a representative on that commission, and hopefully have them shift their vision a little bit inwards and try to encourage more development, more funding, more opportunity, more livability for our communities, and shift that focus away from the coastal regions, because I'm sure they won't agree with me, but I think Margaret River, Augusta, Busselton and Bunbury get their fair share, and it's probably about time that we get a little bit more down here. So that's my pitch. And I would like you to support me. But if not, I'm sure that we will have a fantastic representative of either one of us.
Thank you, Director of Infrastructure Services. Yes, please. Are you going to squeak?
Okay, councillors and gallery, what we're going to do next is conduct an informal ballot for who will be inserted into the motion as the Shire's candidate for the Southwest Development Commission Board. I'm going to come around and hand you all a slip of paper. I'd like you to write which candidate you would prefer. I'll then come around with this hat Thanks, Jocelyn. And collect your ballots. I'll then count them out. I'll ask the Director of Business to confirm the ballot, then I'll read out.
You're the best one to count, so you know. So just to clarify, this, for the South West Development Commission, it's only our nomination that goes into the big pool. So as much as we would like to say that whoever wins the vote here is onto the commission, it's not. And I certainly wish either of my councillors the very best of luck to represent us, as I completely agree. Some of that focus definitely needs to come off the Capes. They've had their share. It's time for us inland. So while they're doing the counting, I'll just tell you what I've been up to this week. In the past 5 days, I have managed to become the chair of the South West Zone and the state council representative of the 12 local governments. Yesterday, in my infinite wisdom, I thought I'd be the chair of the regional road group as well. So to be able, we are very much about pulling that real focus off the Capes and inland. The only way we are going to do that, because fortunately or unfortunately, our state and federal representatives are a different colour to the ones that sit in the big house. So we need to make sure that we have a strong representation at any committee to try and pull that in off the coast, which is a little bit tricky, to be honest. Thank you, Mr. Acting CEO.
The results of the informal ballot are 6 votes to Councillor Darren and 1 to Councillor Burns.
Thank you. Would someone like to move that we come back into standing orders?
I move that we come back into standing orders.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Burns. Can we put that to vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Thank you very much. Alrighty, let's go back to 9.16.1, endorsement of representatives on climate change action plan implementation reference group. Councillor De Campo.
I'd like to move that council appoint the following members to the Warren Blackwood Alliance of Council's Climate Action Plan Implementation Reference Group for the period 25 November 25 to 16 October 2027, or such short term as determined by the group. Our nominated councillors are Councillor Tempra and Councillor Bugie.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Is there a seconder? Councillor Wilcox. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Wilcox, did you want to speak to the motion? Excellent. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0. And 9.16.2, Shire Management nomination for the South West Development Commission Board. Councillor De Campo.
I'd like to move that council endorse Councillor Darren as the Shire of Manjimup's nominee for the position of local government representative on the South West Development Commission Board.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Wilcox. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak?
I would like to speak, in fact, Madam President. It takes some commitment to be on council. Councillor Darren has shown that commitment over a number of years. And I think the commitment that is shown by previous councillors around this table has been good. It is questionable, I've got to say, and I can say this because nobody voted for me in the last meeting, so it doesn't matter if I upset anyone. It is questionable to date, the commitment that we have out of our new cohort of councillors, and I think that potentially some need to look in the mirror and see whether they're suited to this role. You're not here as it's not a game, and you're not here as a visitor. You're here to make decisions around the community, and those decisions should be based about being around the table. And you can only make decisions if you turn up. So I endorse Councillor Darren, and I think she'll make a great representative on the South West Development Commission if she's chosen. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wilcox. Excellent. Are there any other speakers? Councillor Burns.
Sorry. I'd just like to congratulate Councillor Darren and just make sure we have it on the record that I certainly don't take it personally. We are all part of the one big team, and I fully support Councillor De Campo's comments that turning up, being present, being an active participant in local government is incredibly important. It is a privilege as opposed to a right to represent the people of the Shire, and I think as we move forward, it is very easy to see the ones that take that responsibility seriously as opposed to the ones that don't. But I have absolute faith that Councillor Darren, if she's successful in getting the position on the South West Development Commission board, will do us very, very proud.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Fabulous. Let's put that to the vote, please, councillors. All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. Okay. Item 10, late reports. There are nil. Item 11, questions from members. 11.1, response to questions from members taken on notice. There are nil. 11.2, questions from members. Nil. 12, motions for consideration at the following meeting. Councillor De Campo.
President, wouldn't be a meeting if I didn't have one.
Certainly wouldn't.
I've got two, actually.
Terrific.
Which page is this on? Here we go, page 18, sorry, bear with me. I'd like to move that the Chief Executive Officer introduce a 32% concession off the minimum rate clause per clause 6.47 of the Local Government Act of 1995 for the Donnelly River Hutt precinct to be considered through the 26-27 draft budget deliberations. Point 2, provide a concession of rates of 32% off the minimum rate per clause 6.47 of the Local Government Act of 1995 charged in the 25-26 Shire budget for the hut owners lessees of the Donnelly River Hutt precinct. Oh, sorry, I do have a second one. We don't vote on that, that's right. It is, could be contentious, this one, by the way. Starting to bring them out of the Barnaby hat. It is that one, that Council direct the CEO to restart negotiations with the Hilton Group on development of a 4 to 4.5 star hotel complex with a potential contribution of up to $4 million above the potential land available from the Shire of Manjimup. Point 2, provide a report to Council in time for budget deliberations for 25-26 budget, including the potential impact on the long-term financial position and a cost-benefit analysis in relation to Council investment into a private venture for the broader community using the strategic asset reserve for any funds needed. Point 3, investigate negotiations for Council to take an equity position in the hotel for its investment.
Thank you, Councillor Campo. 13, new business of an urgent nature introduced by a decision of the meeting. There are nil. Well, lovely Walpole, I would like to thank you all very much for coming. We do have one more item to discuss, but it is a confidential. So, with that said, we, the Council and the senior management, would like to thank you all very much for coming, and please reach out to any of your councillors. We no longer have a Walpole, just a Walpole representative, so feel free to distribute the love amongst all the councillors. On the left. No, all the councillors. And we thank you all very much for coming. Please reach out if you have any dramas. We're always open to have a chat. Thank you very much.
While they do that, I'd like to move that we go behind closed doors.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? That's Darren. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 7-0.
16, closure. There being no further business to discuss, I wish to thank everyone that's in attendance and close the meeting at 6:51. Thank you very much. Right now.